In this module, I am going to talk about the principle behind the differential thermal analysis. Let us have a better understanding about differential thermal analysis technique. Differential thermal analysis is abbreviated as DTA. In this technique, the temperature difference between the testing sample and a thermally inert reference substance is continuously recorded as a function of temperature. The measurement of change in heat content is carried out by heating the test sample and inert reference substance at elevated temperature or cooling to subnormal temperature at a predetermined rate. Generally, alumina is taken as a reference substance. In DTA technique, the heat absorbed or emitted by a chemical system is determined. That is, the thermal effects may be either endothermic or exothermic. Enthalpy changes are caused by physical phenomena such as fusion, crystalline structure inversion, boiling, vaporization, sublimation, and others. Some enthalpy changes are also caused by chemical reaction like decomposition, oxidation, dehydration, reduction, displacement, etc. Let us discuss the principle behind the differential thermal analysis. In DTA, the temperature of a sample is compared with the temperature of an inert reference material during a programmed change of temperature. The differential temperature is recorded as a function of reference material temperature or time, assuming that the furnace temperature rise is linear with time, which means the temperature should be the same until thermal event occurs, such as melting, decomposition, or change in the crystal structure. In DTA technique, both heat absorbed or emitted by a chemical system is determined. When heat is absorbed by the sample, or we can say endothermic event takes place within the sample, the temperature of the sample will lag behind that of the reference and a minimum will be observed in the DTA curve. On the contrary, if heat is liberated from the sample, that is, an exothermic event takes place, then the temperature of the sample will exceed that of the reference and a maximum will be observed on the curve. The area under the endotherm or exotherm is related to the enthalpy of the thermal event delta H. If any reaction takes place in the sample, then the temperature difference will occur between the sample and the reference substance. In an endothermic change, the temperature of the sample is lower than that of the reference substance. Endothermic change or melting, dehydration of the sample, fusion, transition from one crystalline form to another crystalline form. For endothermic change, temperature difference is negative quantity. In an exothermic change, the temperature of the sample is higher than that of the reference substance. For exothermic change, the temperature difference is a positive quantity. The differential temperature is plotted against temperature. The plot is called DTA curve or thermogram. When a graph of delta T versus temperature is plotted, we can observe the maxima and minima in the plot. Both maxima and minima are called peaks. Here, the maxima indicates the exothermic process. In exothermic process, heat is evolved from the sample, causing the temperature to increase. Hence, in exothermic process, the sample temperature is higher than that of the reference sample. Delta T is positive for exothermic process. Minima indicates endothermic process. Heat is absorbed by the sample. Thereby, temperature decreases. So, in an endothermic change, the temperature of the sample is lower than that of the reference sample. Delta T is negative for endothermic process. Shape and size of the peaks gives a lot of information about the nature of the test sample. Peak areas and peak heights are used for quantitative measurements. Sharp endothermic peaks indicate phase changes such as melting, fusion, also indicates the transition from one crystalline form to another crystalline form. Broad endothermic peaks are obtained from dehydration reactions. Oxidation reactions are exothermic reaction. Here, this DTA curve showing the decomposition of calcium oxalate monohydrate. Thermogram A represents the decomposition in carbon dioxide atmosphere. This has 3 peaks corresponding to successive elimination of water, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. These 3 points of weight loss corresponding to the 3 endothermic processes. Curve B represents the DTA diagram for the same substance calcium oxalate monohydrate in air. The second peak in this curve is sharply exothermic, but it corresponding to the same weight loss as in carbon dioxide. This peak represents the exothermic burning of carbon monoxide in air at the temperature of the furnace. From the DTA curve of calcium oxalate monohydrate, we understand calcium oxalate monohydrate is decomposed to anhydrous calcium oxalate. In the first step, calcium oxalate is formed, and then the calcium oxalate is decomposed to calcium carbonate and carbon monoxide. In the second step, carbon monoxide is eliminated. Finally, calcium carbonate is decomposed to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. DTA curve showing the decomposition of calcium acetate monohydrate. The first endothermic peak is unaffected by the change in atmosphere. The weight loss initiates the formation of anhydrous salt. The second endothermic peak is obtained in argon and carbon dioxide atmosphere, but exothermic peak is obtained in the air. There is a weight loss. This is due to the formation of calcium carbonate and the evolution of 1 mole of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. In oxygen atmosphere, carbon monoxide is oxidized to carbon dioxide, which is a exothermic reaction. In the final stage, calcium carbonate decomposes to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. This process is function of partial pressure of carbon dioxide, so the decomposition of calcium carbonate occurs at a higher temperature in carbon dioxide atmosphere. So the peak is shifted to a higher temperature in carbon dioxide atmosphere. From the DTA curve of calcium acetate monohydrate, we understand Calcium acetate monohydrate is decomposed to calcium acetate with the elimination of one water molecule. Then calcium acetate is decomposed to calcium carbonate and acetone. Finally, calcium carbonate is decomposed to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide.